Please welcome to the stage U.S. Equestrian President Tom O'Mara and U.S. Equestrian CEO Bill Maroney.
I want to welcome everyone here to the 2024 Annual Meeting General Session. We are excited to share the major accomplishments of 2023 and look ahead to 2024. Last year, our theme was working together for our future, and this year, we take that concept to the next level. Our future is now. Now is the time to seize the moment, address opportunities, set our strategic goals, and tackle the challenges we face as a community now. Not only to achieve success on the field of play, but also to ensure the long-term sustainability and success of our sport. Before we jump into this presentation, which I must say is an easy thing. My job here is just to make sure I deliver this great story to you all, because this is really all of your story. This is our sports story, our affiliates, our members, our sponsors. Everyone's involved with making this a great story. So we're going to be going through 2023 and what we're expecting to see in the future. I don't know if you noticed, I almost walked into the mortgage convention going on down there because they said this is where things are happening. So I thought that'd be interesting to explore. I've done mortgages before, not so exciting. This is where things are happening. So I invited them all down here. You may see some mortgage people walking around. But before we jump into telling the story about this past year and what we're doing going forward, I want to let you know we have a very special announcement at the end of our presentation, so please plan to stay through the end of the session. To set the stage, we remain firmly committed to the future growth behind our vision, which is to bring the joy of horse sports to as many people as possible. And of course, our mission statement follows that, to provide access to and increase participation in equestrian sports at all levels by ensuring fairness, safety, and enjoyment. We like to throw this slide up. Many of you have seen it before. We use it all the time. It came out of our strategic plan back in 2017, and it was expanded in 2021. But we call it our strategic plan's virtuous circle. With this plan, it enables us that when we see good things happening, we can build on them. If we see issues, we can address them. It's all about a continuous cycle of innovation, improvement, and growth. There are 6 key components of the virtuous circle that we will evaluate our progress on today. Keeping our house in order, refining our product, developing new products and benefits, winning to inspire, telling our story, and delivering results. And then it starts all over again. So let's start with our progress report. In today's presentation, Bill and I are going to focus on progress on these 6, is this one up behind me? Yeah. These 6 key areas: sport, collaboration, innovation and technology, awareness and exposure, social license, and growth. We are focused on the impact in these areas within our equestrian community and beyond to the broader population as we keep our eyes focused on growth. Bill, why don't you start with sport?
Great. So we're going to take a look first with our major wins in national sport. Our National Breeds and Disciplines Council focused on new ideas amplifying existing products and creating new ones. They provided 51 grants and scholarships to our youth members. USEF Lite was transformed to be more accessible for organizers and participants. Several affiliates worked with us on increasing horse welfare initiatives across the different breeds and disciplines, and our Saddle Seat Championship team trials were completed, and we have engaged with other nations around the world to form a new organization for Saddle Seat World Championships. 9 USEF national championship events were held, recognizing 36 champions. Examples include the USEF Pony Finals, the USEF National Junior Hunter Finals East and West, and the USEF saddle seat medal finals for both juniors and adults. We also want to congratulate all the 2023 champions, including winners of our affiliates' national championships. And back to you, Tom.
Thanks, Bill. Let's now look at our major international sport achievements. To begin with, within our high performance and our FEI sport department, we have made some changes, and we have promoted Hallie Griffin to Director of FEI Sport. And she will serve as the chef de mission at the Olympic and Paralympic Games. And for those of you who don't know her, she brings a fantastic depth of experience based on her 13-year career at USEF. And she's doing a fantastic job so far. She's joined by Laura Roberts, who's been promoted to Managing Director of Dressage, Stephen Morrissey, who was promoted to Managing Director of Sport Logistics and Non-Olympic Disciplines, Anna Brooks Thomas, who was hired in to be the Director of Driving, and Nicole Zerby, who was promoted to Director of Endurance. I'm very excited about these changes, bringing together a young yet experienced team with fresh perspectives, and they're doing a great job. There's so much enthusiasm there. It's going to carry right through to results. I'm also thrilled to share that dressage, eventing, and para-dressage qualified for this year's Paris Olympic and Paralympics at their respective 2022 FEI World Championships. And jumping just qualified at this year's 2023 Pan American Games. So all 4 disciplines are ready. We're well on our way to Paris based on outstanding performances at the Pan Ams and the World Championships, and we are going to have much to celebrate. Let's take a look. No, it is great, and you're going to see other videos today, and they're all fantastic, and the results there were really incredible. I was fortunate to be there, and you know, I am proud, but I think everyone here should be proud. We all have the chance to watch this remotely as these events go on, and I want to let you know that the whole world watches, and in the Americas in particular, the Pan Am Games, the whole world came up, and I'm just your representative standing there, but they are so excited to see what's going on in the United States. Many of them trained in the United States, and many of them are trying to emulate the United States. So it's really something I want to bring that message back to you all to let you know. The rest of the world is watching. In fact, I saw a statistic about the Pan Am televised broadcast, and I think outside of the United States, which had the most viewers of the Pan Ams, the second country watching the Pan Am Games was Germany. So not only is everyone in the Americas watching how great the United States is doing at these games, but the Europeans are watching us as well. Team medals were earned there in all 3 disciplines, with a gold team in both dressage and show jumping, and a silver in eventing. It was amazing. Not only do we have great team results, the individual athletes fared super well there, with Anna Marek earning an individual bronze medal in dressage. McLean Ward and Kent Farrington garnered individual bronze and silver medals, respectively, in show jumping, and Caroline Pamuchka put in an extraordinary performance to win the individual gold medal at her International Senior Championship debut. She won the gold. These team and individual results were impressive, especially since many of the U.S. team members were making their first-time international championship appearances at the Pan Am Games. 3 of the 4 dressage team members made their debut on the championship stage: Christian Simonson, Anna Marek, and Cody Harrison, joined by international veteran Sarah Tubman. In jumping, Carl Cook made his games debut, joining seasoned veterans Kent Farrington, Laura Kraut, and McLean Ward on our U.S. show jumping team. In addition to Caroline Pamuchka, Sydney Elliott and Sharon White and Liz Halliday were all U.S. eventing team members competing at their first senior games. It was truly impressive. Besides the Pan Am Games, we had many other inspiring stars on the international stage this year. For the first time in 15 years, a U.S. combination won the Land Rover Kentucky 3-day event, Tammy Smith and Mai Baum. U.S. jumping combination Hunter Holloway and Pepita Conspita earned third place at the FEI Jumping World Cup Finals in Omaha. Our show jumper, Mimi Gotchman, won the 2023 Longines FEI Rising Star Award, just awarded to her a month or so ago at the FEI General Assembly down in Mexico City. Tracy Bowman achieved her second consecutive individual gold at the FEI Para-Driving World Championships for singles, and our U.S. team won silver there. Our U.S. junior jumping team earned third place finish at the FEI Nations Cup Youth Finals in Belgium. Another U.S. junior squad earned a team bronze at the FEI Vaulting World Championship for young vaulters and juniors in Sweden. U.S. Dressage Young Rider Team earned bronze at the Future Champions Nations Cup, in Hagen, Germany. And we had strong Nations Cup finishes across dressage, jumping, and eventing throughout 23 and at all levels, emerging, developing, and senior tours. Next, we want to talk about collaboration. Collaboration is critical to success. And therefore, our work together with our affiliates, competition organizers, our members, and our sponsors is an important part of what the USEF does. Let's take a look at some of the most successful collaborative efforts, and it's not limited just to these, but these are some really good ones in 23. As I said, collaborating with our affiliates led the way. Increasing accessibility to the sport is one of USEF's priorities. It's in our mission statement. And some recent changes to the USEF Light competition model have helped accomplish that. I want to give a shout out to three affiliates, the Arabian Horse Association, the American Morgan Horse Association, and the American Saddlebred Horse Association. Their leadership, their executive directors, their members, they took an active participation in the process and came to us and said, how do we make this work? Second shout out to the Arabian Horse Association for their active role in strengthening rules in support of equine and athlete safety and well-being. And not just for them, for all of us. Additionally, major progress was made in finalizing and signing new affiliate agreements. We're very close to completing these agreements with all 17 affiliates. It's a testament to the good work we're doing together to build equestrian sport. We are stronger together. That's why we're called a federation. We did experience a biosecurity challenge this year with a vesicular stomatitis outbreak, but I'm proud to say that we met this challenge and together we were prepared and responded. Cases were originally confirmed in San Diego and Riverside counties in California. And Dr. Katie Flynn, those of you who were at the biosecurity session this morning, got a chance to meet her. If you haven't met her already, seems like everyone knows her. By the way, not just in the USEF, I travel around to other horse organizations, the American Horse Council, and pretty much any horse organization in the country wants to do work with Dr. Katie Flynn. She's ours. She's our new USEF veterinarian, and she was instrumental in response containment, this is during the outbreaks in California, establishing biosecurity protocols and education. USEF organizers and competitors reacted quickly, averting further spread through strict adherence to policies and protocols. Everyone working together got us through this, and thank you, Dr. Flynn. Bill, how about some other areas of collaboration?
Thanks, Tom. So one area we know our members are concerned about is the quality of competitions and the investment in competitions. And a few years ago, we created our compliance department, and their first job has been to establish a more meaningful evaluation system and action system for deficiencies at competitions. So just want to give you a little bit of an update on where we are with that. So members, licensed officials, and the compliance department staff all contribute to competition evaluations, and reporting increased this year, and it's been increasing over the last 3 years. Notably, most competitions, we do not get a report regarding any deficiencies. All feedback is reviewed through the competitions, compliance, and regulation departments, and a record is maintained for each competition. Reports are triaged and based on the level of deficiency addressed by the applicable department. Results inform actions ranging from organizer outreach and awareness and working with them to identify issues they might not even see and get better with their competitions, to potential loss of competition license or other penalties. In '23, the compliance department outreach increased with new touch points added to our on-site visits. This included manager engagement and pre-competition calls with officials. So our office would contact the stewards or TDs at competitions to give them a heads up of things they need to be watching out for based on evaluations we've gotten and can report back to us on progress. Overall, because we have so many venues that host multiple competitions, based on these venue visits from compliance, 984 of our approximately 2,600 competitions were reached, and that accounted for entries, unique entries, of over 211,000 horses and riders this year at those events. While 81% of member evaluations were positive, that's not the only factor here. So we remain focused on all the reports we receive, including those from stewards, TDs, and our compliance team. But it's an interesting point that members out there, the people that are competing at these events, 81% of their reports were positive about competitions. So we think things are starting to go in a better direction in the field. Not all member evaluations received, as I've said, match what we get from our trained staff and from our licensed officials. So we look carefully at all of the reports for each competition we get to make sure that we're addressing any issues right with those competitions, reaching back out to our officials to gain more information, and if there are any members in their evaluations that we need to reach out to. Anyone can submit a competition evaluation anonymously at usef.org. I will say, though, about anonymous submissions, it's hard to track things down if we cannot verify. So, so that's just something to know. We maintain confidentiality of your evaluation. If we need to use it in an action, we will be engaging with you to make sure you're comfortable going there. But sometimes we'll get reports and we can't verify it and can't get any further with it because we need more information about that particular deficiency. It doesn't mean the report goes unheeded. It will be put in the file, and we will keep watching to see if more happens or we get more information around that. Interestingly enough, this year, steward and TD reports tripled in number, and we think that's for the following reasons. Our on-site staff engagement with officials, with our compliance team, clarifying the rules regarding the duties of stewards and TDs and their responsibilities, and more targeted questions on the reports that they turn into USEF. Overall, the #1 issue was class scheduling and the communication by organizers with participants as to how the schedule was running. Those are important and addressable by the organizers, and so that feedback goes back to them about improving their scheduling and improving the communication with people. Next up, we'll talk a little bit about calendaring. As you know, in the first trimester of the competition year, so that's December, January, February, March, in both Florida and California, we've been doing a lot of work. Florida longer than California. Calendar management is very complex and has a lot of variables involved in it. And it's a bit of a puzzle of juggling and balancing opportunity with sustainability and investment in facilities and quality of competition. There's many things that go into that, and in particular around sustainability, the horse density is very important in particular areas as to whether we can add competitions to the environment. We've done a lot of work in Florida and California, and it's amplified opportunities for athletes in equine development with increased diversity of venues, competition ratings and levels, and class offerings. And Tom, I'll turn it back to you to talk some more about innovation and technology.
Thanks, Bill. Advances in innovation and technology have provided new benefits for members, stakeholders, and staff. Why do innovation and technology matter? Technology is undertaken to assist and benefit our members, and this can occur in two ways. It increases convenience, resulting in a better user experience, or it provides cost savings or inefficiencies which allow us, it's not just to save money for saving money's sake, but it allows us to redirect those funds that we don't have to spend on inefficient systems to sport, to everybody in this room. It can be either or, a better user experience or savings, but both is really the goal. By applying innovation and using new technologies, we can do something better for less. And if not, I say we don't do it. Innovation and technology initiatives have occurred in a couple of, we concentrated them in these three areas. They've assisted us from an organization, within the organization. They've assisted us with horse and athlete services, and they've assisted us in the competition field as well. There's one example up on each of these, but there's a long, long list. We just kind of randomly grabbed one of them to throw on this slide. But it's working. We evaluate them all, we observe what they're doing, we set a plan, and we make sure that it's doing one of those two things, making our members' user experience better or saving our members money. Bill?
Thanks, Tom. Increasing awareness and exposure of equestrian sport is vital to our ability to deliver on our strategic plan. So we've just marked, Vicki, correct me if I'm wrong, wherever you are out there, but we just passed the year mark in our partnership with Clip My Horse TV. The USEF network is now powered by Clip My Horse TV. As we talked earlier, I think Matt was talking a little with the councils. Sometimes there's little hiccups of getting into the systems, and we're happy to help out, so don't hesitate to contact us if you're having any trouble. But the network is delivering as we intended it to do, and this partnership intended to do. And it's resulting in a better user experience, including more events, more variety of events, more viewers, and more viewer time is being spent on the network. There's some amazing statistics for 2023. 87 live events were streamed in 23 across 16 different breeds and disciplines within the USEF family. We now have the capability of streaming 8 events simultaneously from 4 different independent venues. 246,000 unique users went to the network this year. That's an increase of 254% in our first year with this partnership. 1.3 million unique video views, an increase of 183%. 1.7 million hours watched live and on demand, that's up 224% over the prior year. We were viewed in 195 countries, and 37% of video views were done on the mobile app. So we're meeting people where they live, out in the environment. The scope of our reach is definitely increasing significantly, and we're thrilled with the partnership so far and what we're seeing here. We also branched out into the mainstream public sector with content shows on ESPN3 and ESPN News. Both channels have thousands of estimated viewers per event. This is our effort to take our sport into the mainstream and build the fan base for it. NBC retained and featured Megan Thee Stallion and our dressage athletes in one of the first Paris 2024 Olympic Games commercials. This commercial was broadcast on NBC prime time during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the National Dog Show, and the NFL football game. This was also covered by Variety, Rolling Stone, and more media outlets. Let's see.
Welcome to the Paris Olympics. Look at my hot girl.
Bonjour.
And that is the Olympics hot girl style.
So it's a winged, fire-breathing, talking horse.
Duh.
Okay.
That is the Olympics.
Olympics?
Olympics.
What are they not getting about this?
Right?
So this is clearly a sign to us. You might remember Snoop Dogg and the whole deal about the dressage horses at the Olympics, the videos we did about horses getting on and off of airplanes, the talk about horses fly Emirates, people fly Southwest, whatever. The reality is we are on the screen of NBC. They came to us and they said, we've got an idea. We need help with the athlete talent. We've got the celebrity talent lined up. And so our team worked with NBC to get with the athletes, to get the facility to do all of this and put all this together so that we can take equestrian sport, regardless of breed or discipline, equestrian sport as a whole, to the world on NBC primetime. So Vicki and your team, great job. So just looking a little bit at how this resonated with the world. So our reach was clearly amplified through this commercial and through social media with millions of views on Meghan's channels, NBC's channels, and fan channels. I mean, Meghan alone, a total of 18.6 million views on her channels. So the celebrity talent is promoting us, she's promoting herself, but she's promoting equestrian at the same time, right? And so we are getting more traction by these kinds of things than ever before in our history. Great job. All right, next up, social media. We've continued to expand our video content and excelled on our already powerful social channels this year across 19 accounts and more than 1.44 million followers. Video views increased 80% from just over 12 million in 22 to over 22 million in 23. On top of those jumps in views was a jump in engagement, a measurement of, appropriately, how engaging a user finds a given piece of content. The more engaging, the more likely to engage, meaning to comment, to react, or to share. We had a little discussion about sharing this morning in the IDC and NBDC social media discussion. Fun, relatable horse content generated the highest engagement this year, and this was our #1 video.
They loved it.
And followed right behind it was Tom Brady's buzzworthy course walk. For all you ladies out there, he apparently is still single. So get to those course walks. All right, going on with our social media engagement. New content approaches like Mia Farley and Phelps' first 5-star story drew interest and showed off the potential of our new athlete-focused, behind-the-scenes storytelling strategy. This was Mia's first 5-star and her horse Phelps' first 5-star also.
Mom, it's me! Phelps has proven us all that he's the world. Great. It's all right. And he's just a special horse. I'd be lucky to have something like that. Over there. Good job. I don't cry, cut it.
The emotion of these video clips becomes very relatable for everybody, whether you're an equestrian or whether you just like horses. The use of the new Greenfly tool allowed for a completely new way to receive and deliver high-quality content back and forth between USEF and athletes, simultaneously growing both our brands. Here's a clip provided by Christian Simonson of the CHIO Aachen closing ceremony straight from the field of play. Social media continued to expand reach with a range of engaging and unique video content leading the way. Sponsors also got into the act with creative executions.
Hi, I'm Tammy Smith, and I'm a Land Rover U.S. eventing athlete. I will say that my horse, My Bomb, has really gone over and above his time in Pertoni. He lost both his front shoes at like minute 2 and completed the course inside the time. He gets around the course and he gets to minute 8.5, and that's hard for him because he doesn't have a lot of thoroughbred in him, and that's when I feel him really go the extra mile. His fight to make the time at the World Championships and at Kentucky this year was above and beyond.
Unique original content creation has become an important and valued aspect of our sponsorships, and we really appreciate the athlete engagement and the fan engagement with those. Tom, over to you.
Thanks, Bill. Continuing under social media, and just as a refresher, 2 years ago, the USEF launched the USEF Community Outreach Program. After we heard from many of our members who wanted to see how we can get involved with a lot of underserved or underrepresented populations that use horses, like all of us do. The effort was really to help share the joy of horse sport to those groups, and really I always think of the USEF umbrella, and to bring more of them underneath. It was not a move for any of us to get more money at the USEF, but we know that they're out there, and we wanted to share the joy of horse sport with as many people as possible. This year, we launched an important awareness and fundraising campaign, which was called Opportunity Week. That was November 5th through the 13th. And our outreach today in community outreach programs encompasses 28 organizations across 13 states. We conduct site visits when they come on board, and we also conduct site visits with our social media team. They go out there and they help working with these organizations to create original content. Those community outreach program contents across social media resulted in more than 118,000 impressions. We wanted to help share what these people are doing for these people with horses, and sometimes for the horses, with as many people as possible, not just equestrians, but non-equestrians as well. And it's working. It helps bring more eyeballs to those organizations, for those organizations, and we have we've received over 208 donations with just shy of $250,000 in grants from people, including the USEF's Board of Directors. Thank you very much. And those were dispersed to the community outreach organizations via a very rigorous grant process for very specific items to help them make their lives better for these people and their horses. To date, those community outreach programs, there's over 10,000 participants at those community outreach programs, the 28 that we have under our umbrella now. They are proud when you speak to these people, the people who run them, they're proud to put up the United States Equestrian Federation community outreach sign, banners, medals, all the things that we send them. And in fact, they're now engaging all the parents and friends of their participants to become fans of the USEF. We've had generous participation as well from some great sponsors who recognize the great need for this program. So I'd like to thank Ariat, Perigo, Lemieux, Defender. We can't wait to see how far this program can grow. I can tell you there's an overwhelming response from organizations now that they're learning about this who want to be part of us and want to be able to attach or be part of us just like these other organizations have been. We've actually had to tap a little bit of a break on it because we have to make sure that we can handle them all correctly and be fair to everybody. But we will be, and it's going to continue to grow, and I can't wait to see where we go with this. If you don't know much about the Community Outreach Program, and that's fine, and we put it out there a lot, but I miss messages as well, go to our website, usef.org/opportunity. All the organizations are listed there, and there's a summary of what they do, where they are, and who they are. And if you like, you could give money to the Community Outreach Fund that we've established at the USEF, or you could help support them in any way you want. And I mentioned this last year as well. There are organizers who have identified which one of these are near them, and they have, it could be in kind. They've invited the participants from these groups to their shows, given them course walks I've seen over at Live Oak. They did a great job down in Ocala. And Saratoga Horse Show brought a whole group of the people in from one of the programs that's close to them, and they had them there for the day and gave them lunches. But it's a really great outreach. There's been a real lot of collaboration between USEF organizers, members, and community outreach programs. We've got a video.
We all share the same passion, the love of horses.
Horses have helped me with my personal problems.
There's so much about working with a horse that helps you develop yourself.
We all know that horses have the power to change lives, and that connection to horses was at the center of US Equestrian's inaugural Opportunity Week, which was held November 5th through 11th. Our followers and members heard directly from our community outreach organizations about the impact they're making in their local communities.
Whether in a rural setting or in the heart of the city, our participants come from all walks of life.
I've seen our horses bring joy to participants in so many different ways. We hear every day about people being able to make friends or something they did at school that directly ties to the connection that they've had here.
The goal for this year's Opportunity Week was twofold. First, we want to bring awareness to our community outreach organizations and the work they're doing nationwide to connect horses with people in a multitude of ways. Second, receive donations for the Opportunity Fund. Grants from the Opportunity Fund go directly to these organizations and help them continue the good work they're doing.
This grant opens us up to so many opportunities to give back to the community.
Your support will make a difference.
Thank you!
I'm going to make one final point on that. Each of those, our social media group also is producing, that was about all the community outreach funds, that last video that went out during Community Outreach Week. But each of them works with our media team, and they're producing a video about each one of them that will also be going out on social media. I think about half of them will be going out this year, but each month there's a scheduled, and you'll see that as you follow us, a video on each of them, uniquely. So it's going to be pretty exciting for this upcoming year. Bill?
Equine welfare must always be a top priority for all of us. At the 2023 annual meeting last year, we launched the first phase of our social license workshops. Managed by David O'Connor, Sonia Keating, and Vicki Lowell, these workshops involve presentations by expert speakers and breakout sessions for participant engagement. We're pleased with the high level of participation and willingness to look in the mirror at our practices. Out of the first phase, 5 questions were developed and circulated to our councils, committees, and recognized affiliates. These questions and their answers are being discussed here at this annual meeting, and many of the answers these groups formulated have been incorporated into this weekend's workshops. In support of our efforts for our horses, we created the Good Life for Horses series of videos with David O'Connor. These videos are now in our Learning Center.
In this Learning Center video, we're going to talk about the best practices that ensure and create a good life for horses in a competition ring and in training. Are the training practices and the competition practices that we do on an everyday basis, are they acceptable in a modern day world? If you can't train in Central Park in front of the public, then you really shouldn't be able to do that. That same idea with a competition. There are so many practices that were acceptable 3, 4, 5 decades ago that are completely unacceptable now. So when we look at our individual sports, every sport has had to evolve. I come from a sport that's evolved a lot here in this last 30 years of the test from the old cavalry horse to a horse that is very, very specific when that partnership is celebrated, not just the endurance side. If you don't change, you're going to get changed. And that has to be where we come from. So when we look at the traditions of where we were 30, 40, 50, even 70 years ago, and are those traditions relevant?
We've always taken reports on equine safety and well-being as a priority. We've expanded reporting to include the anonymous texting to USEF, which allows us to engage with the primary source and more easily obtain actionable information. Just like when we talked about competition evaluations, keep in mind, we need more than rumors or I heard information for the report to be actionable. We must be able to verify through corroboration, testimony, or other form of evidence. When we go to the hearing committee, it's just like going into a courtroom. You're each putting on your side, and if you go with no evidence, you're not going to get the results you're looking for. So when we prepare to go and take an action, we have to have information and people to support what they provided us to make it all work. Ensuring our rules are keeping up with our practices, we recently updated the rule governing cruelty and abuse of horses. The changes further empower licensed officials to take action during competitions. It broadens responsibility to include anyone, clarifies that evidence of cruelty and abuse is sufficient. The action does not have to be witnessed under this rule. So you don't actually have to see the abuse occurring, you can see the result of the abuse to take action. It also further defines the prohibited practices. So now we're on to the stage where we talk about growth, and Tom, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Our collective efforts have all resulted in growth. We have seen continued and impressive growth in membership and fans. We are fast approaching 500,000 engaged individuals. Key programs implemented in 2023 to help fuel these numbers were a new kids club program, a spring sweepstakes we ran, and a partnership with the Kentucky Horse Park. Combined, they helped bring in almost 35,000 new fans alone. At year end, our competing members exceeded 80,000. That is the highest it's been in over a decade. Unique horse numbers were near an all-time high as well. Horse competition entries did reach an all-time high in 23. Additionally, sponsorship and advertisers were up 9% in revenues that's bought into the Federation to 4.1 million. There are 63 partners and sponsors. 9 of them are new just this year. It's a tremendous effort on behalf of our sponsorship team and marketing and everyone working together internally at the USEF to service them all. That's 63 partners who all want to be part of the USEF, and we got to make sure that we treat them right, and we do. Digital creative, social media, and original content, along with the increase in the fan base, have been key drivers of this revenue growth. Increased revenue creates sustainability and better positions the USEF to make greater investments in sport and operations that provide services and benefits to members. I'm hoping you hear that over and over because that is our goal. All of this results in a strong financial position, which allows us to continue to reinvest in sport and further growth. Many of you who know me personally know I have a financial services background. So as much as I'm not jumping up and down right here, this is one of my favorite slides on the page in the presentation. Because I have, over the years, had the experience of analyzing companies, investment funds, their financials, and looking at their income statements, their balance sheets. And over the years, I learned an ability to be able to identify a strong organization. And without going too in detail with you all today about it, this is a strong financial position that this federation has. As you've also heard me mention before or earlier, or if you just have talked to me in the hallways, I've had the opportunity to travel around the world and meet with other national federations around the world. I've had the opportunity to meet with other sports in the United States. We stand very, very strongly when it comes to financials. I'm not comparing ourselves to a lot of them, but I do talk to them. And whether they're under our umbrella, whether they're FEI or USEF type breeds or disciplines, or they're the Western world or the polo world, I look at them all. I've joined a lot of those organizations just so I could see their financials to make sure that we are on track. Because if we screw this up, this hurts everyone. We have to have consistency and have the ability to sustain our sport the way it is, to strengthen our sport from where it is, and to grow our sport. And as many of you know, if you don't have financial strength, none of that can happen. So I personally always feel that this is a real key strength of the Federation. And why does that happen? We have great people working on this at the Federation. We have a phenomenal CFO and his finance team. We have a great treasurer. There are committees of volunteers, committees that are dealing with financials, such as the Budget and Finance Committee, the Investment Committee, the Audit Committee, our Member Services Council. Oh, we work with the United States Equestrian Team Foundation, which I sit on that board. It is loaded with financial specialists and people with great background in that field. All these people are keeping their eyes on this and helping us move our financials forward properly. Now listen, things can go bad. We've seen that. And when things went bad, this organization adapted to it so quickly back in the COVID 2020 that we were really frightened what the downside would look like. And we ended up coming out of that stronger than we even expected and rebounded faster. And I will tell you, not many other horse organizations around the world have had that same success. So kudos to our team. As you can see up here, 2023 was the biggest year financially in Federation history. And 24 is planned to be even more. And what does that mean? We're bringing in more money than we've ever brought in before. I said that when we launched our strategic plan years ago and refined it when I came in as president. And the goal of that, again, I've said it right up here, is not to raise money for money's sake, but to raise money to put back into sport, back into our affiliates, back into programs. And I can tell you, during this last 4 years, our federation's financials are stronger. Our income statement's up 15% aside, which is significant. That's millions of dollars. And we put that back in our national programs that we oversee. We're spending 2.5 times more in 2024, our budget, than we did back in 21. Our international and high-performance FEI programs, we're spending 50% more than we did back then, and that's millions of dollars. Financial performance, I won't say it one more time, but financial performance is critical to the success of any organization. And I do want to let you know, standing up here in front of you all, that I feel very confident that right now we've been doing one heck of a job, and I don't see that disappearing, and thanks to the team on that. So net, it was a great 23. Now we're going to look forward to 24. Our future is now. We're going to start with winning to inspire. 24. It's a big year for all equestrian sport with the 2024 Paris Olympics and Paralympics. We will be one team competing in 4 disciplines. The games take place July 26th through August 11th, and the teams are expected to be announced early June through early July of this year. The equestrian events are going to take place at the Palace of Versailles. There's a view of the facility they're building down at the bottom of the Grand Canal, I think it's called, looking back up at the palace, way up at the top there. These games are going to be absolutely spectacular. And it's not too soon to really start looking ahead to LA 28, which will present an unparalleled opportunity for all of us as we, the United States, host the Olympic and Paralympic Games here in LA. It's really, a lot of planning is underway right now. It's going to be exciting. On the national breeds and disciplines front, in 24, the NBDC and affiliates are all working together to create new products and to bring more joy to all those different breeds and disciplines. We're launching a new concept called the Battle of the Breeds, a multi-breed hunter championship that will probably start in 25. 2024 will be a key time for building out plans to make this a spectacular and popular event. We've also just kicked off a youth advisory group to provide leadership on future growth strategies. Can't wait to see where they lead us. My understanding is that they've already met, and they're very enthusiastic, as we can all imagine, and there's lots of great ideas coming out of that, and that's going to be fun to work with going forward. Bill?
Great. Thanks, Tom. So major advancements are underway for the Business Innovation Group initiatives, otherwise known as BIG. There are three main pillars in the BIG family of projects: media licensing, data and technology, and education. And advancements are happening in all three pillars at all different phases and timelines. The first one that we find really exciting is our tiered media partnership program with USEF organizers. So we're in the process of forming partnerships and signing agreements with select organizers on distribution and promotion efforts. The first tier is our premium events, which will appear on mainstream platforms like ESPN, and our events which draw significant spectators and represent top sport. The major event tier will be primarily exclusive on USEF Network, with significant promotion and social media exposure. Both tiers come with the opportunity for mutually beneficial multi-year partnerships. The highlight event tier is all about access to competition media clips for promotion and exposure on USEF and other channels. Our goals are increasing viewership amongst equestrian and mainstream audiences, maximizing collaboration, promotion, and storytelling, and establishing long-term alignment. We're further expanding the number of USEF network events, our ESPN schedule, and unscripted storytelling. In 24, we will stream more than 120 events on USEF Network. You'll remember this past year was 87. We double our number of events on ESPN, expanding more programs to the linear channels of ESPN News and ESPN2, while also maximizing efforts for more mini-doc storytelling on USEF social channels and the USEF network. Mia Farley's first 5-star clip that launched on USEF social channels is a great example of this type of mini-doc content, which has performed really well. We are also engaged with outside production companies looking to produce an unscripted series on mainstream platforms like Amazon Sports and Netflix. Many people don't understand equestrian sport and how it differs from horse racing and rodeo. The average person in the general public, a horse is a horse. Starting with the 3 Olympic disciplines, we are creating a USEF branded property that is big, prestigious, and easy to follow for mainstream audiences across the 3 Olympic disciplines. Think about something for our sport like the US Open, Wimbledon, or the Masters. To this end, the USEF Board of Directors approved a major investment in sport for the creation of these events and series. FEI approval is pending on our eventing and dressage series, with a final approval expected in June at their mid-year meeting. The launch of these will be coming in late 24 and into 25. Our next initiative in the pillar of data and technology is in 3 different areas: expansion of data collection, leveraging partnerships, and maximizing user experience. The outcomes we're looking for from these data efforts include safety improvements, because we'll be collecting more information about falls and injuries of horses and riders, competition-related efficiencies for members, organizers, and their staff, faster and more accurate results processing, enhanced athlete and equine performance reports, and increased fan engagement. Remember, big data efforts should improve user experience or reduce expenses so we can reinvest more in sport. Tom, back to you.
Thank you. Above all, nothing is more important than the safety and well-being of our athletes. I think I got into this position, and many of you know this, not because I have a background as a horse professional, but because my wife and I have 4 children who are all equestrians. I couldn't be more firmly behind this movement. Participant safety takes engagement from our full community. But one area we are focused on going into this new year is parent education and awareness. Our team recognized that it was difficult to connect, especially with the parents of junior riders. We now have the ability to do that. We will be launching a USEF Safe Sport campaign, Questions You Should Ask. It is targeted specifically for parents of USEF junior members. The heart of this campaign is a PSA, public service announcement, I never knew what that meant, which will be launched with a microsite in coming weeks. This video was produced in collaboration with the U.S. Center for Safe Sport. It is quite powerful and it hits home. That parents need to be aware and asking questions. Just a warning, this video may be triggering.
Mom, you want to know why my trainer's texting me so much?
Dad, do you know what happens when I'm on the road without you?
Hey, Beth.
Why am I getting so much special attention?
I don't want to ride anymore. Want to know why?
This video makes you think about how to ask questions and how to look for signs. I have to tell you, one day, I don't know, a couple of months ago, I woke up, I was reading my morning paper in my local community down in Florida, and that first scene on that video was being reported in the paper that it happened and there was criminal action was taken. So it happens, unfortunately. We expect this campaign to help create a dialogue that needs to happen between parents and juniors. In addition to that, and those are serious, and I don't mean to bring everyone down, but they are serious. But in addition to that, we also have new resources that we're going to be working on this upcoming year as well, including more anti-bullying, or focus on some good anti-bullying resources, and very importantly, new safety vest research standards and development. There's been lots of talk, and a lot of our members and a lot of our affiliates, and we're working with them, in particular USHJA and US Eventing, we've been working and collaborating on creating and coming up with answers for our members who keep asking questions about what air vest is better than the other, right? We did great collaborative work once before with some helmet testing, independent helmet testing with the Virginia Tech Lab, and we decided that we were all going to work together and move forward on this. It's a different problem to solve because there are no standards for air vests at this point in time. It is air vests, not the body ones, the air vests. So that has to be established first. We just can't start testing to some, random standard or number that we want to put up on the board. We want it to be a real scientific, with engineers involved, very rigorous establishment, and an independent entity will oversee those standards. And we've been very involved with this, and I'm proud to say that the USEF Safety and Standard Committee, as well as USHJA's, their Safety and Standard Committee, are working, collaborating with scientists around the world, and the FEI is getting involved with it too. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel and have 10 different people do this and spend a lot of money doing it. We're trying to consolidate all the brain power in one room and get it done once right. So that is, that is undertaken now. And I think we'll be seeing something, I don't know, in the next 6 months probably, 6 to 12 months. So as we come to the conclusion of this session, I want to recap. The time is right to take these steps together to sustain, strengthen, and grow our sport. We need to continue our focus on the protection of horse and human athletes, deliver excellence on the field of play, grow participation, both competing and fans, competing members and fans, create visibility through media partnership and products. We all love the sport. I've always said my friends didn't understand the sport or even know about the sport, but when we tell them the story, they love the sport almost as much as you all who ride love the sport. We're going to maximize data impact, and we're going to proactively address social license and sustainability, which is an area that we will be diving deep into our workshops this afternoon and tomorrow, and I thank you all for participating in those. After we ran that the first time at last year's annual meeting, those symposiums, for most of 23, wherever I went, people talked about how powerful that was, how their expectations were nowhere near what came out of that. They all attended. The people who did attend and people who didn't attend all have asked, how do they get involved? And I think that's why we see more people here this year who want to be involved with that. And thank you to the affiliates who took that very seriously and took those 5 questions that Bill spoke about before and came back and discussed them at their affiliate levels and came back with things that they're worried about with their sport. It's going to be very exciting to see that move forward the next 2 days, this afternoon and tomorrow. So the future is now. As we wrap up and prepare for the special announcement, let's take a look and celebrate our 2023 champions. And please remember, stay in your seats after this video for that special announcement. Thank you.
All right, so back to our program and our special announcement. So it's not often we get to recognize in front of a group of people the contributions that some of our staff members make to the Federation. In the past, we've done 5-year, 10-year, 15, et cetera, year milestones for them. But today, we get to recognize the dedication and commitment of one really special person who's been with us for 20 years and will be retiring in March of this year. And so I'd like to acknowledge Lisa Owens and ask you to come up. So 20 years ago, at the beginning of this organization in 2004, Lisa started as an international services coordinator in the international department. And at this point, Lisa has come through the ranks to head one of the largest departments in the Federation, and she is director, I gotta find all my stuff, of competition operations that involves everything from licensing to results to athlete and horse services to evaluations to horse recording, FEI horses, FEI riders, pretty much everything that runs our competition environment. So Lisa, congratulations and thank you.
always been my dream to share the knowledge with the people I work with, and the people that I work with share their knowledge with everybody else. Without the team behind us, we wouldn't succeed. And I think that's the greatest joy I've experienced at the Federation is we are a team. Everybody has that mentality of helping each other, and that's what kept us all going. That's what kept me going and wanting me to know more. I always wanted to know more. So thank you for the joy of understanding what it means to be a team. I appreciate everything that the Federation has done. They've been very generous all the time with me and the team. So thank you for my time. I appreciated it. I really did.
Okay, everyone. Well, thank you all for staying for that great presentation, and thank you so much to Lisa. I've always mentioned to people about Lisa, you may not know, but Semper Fi. That's right. Not only thank you for your service to the USEF, but thank you for your service to the United States Armed Forces, too. And she's tough sometimes in there. I did call her Sarge once. It's wrong. She wasn't, but she's close. But thank you very much, Lisa. So with that, everyone, this session, the general session, is over. It was a pleasure to get to deliver this message to you. I've always told my friends, if there's 1 hour, and we went a little bit over that time, sorry for that, but if there's 1 hour, not when I was standing up here, not because I'm standing up here, but when I used to sit down there, if there's 1 hour, if you could listen to what the Federation did this last year for all of us, I think this is the most fun, and I just hope Bill and I had a chance to deliver that to you and did a good job, because it's really impressive what we collectively have done. Thank you all very much.